Get ready. Hollywood has always thrived on scandal, but nothing ignites shockwaves like betrayal, heartbreak, and jaw-dropping secrets. Imagine the leading men we once admired as devoted husbands, suddenly abandoning their marriages to embrace a hidden truth: love with another man. These weren't just quiet affairs, they were explosive revelations that shattered homes, blindsided wives, and left fans in disbelief. In today's countdown, we uncover the top 10 celebrities who left their wives for men. A collection of stories so dramatic, so unexpected, it will leave you questioning everything you thought you knew about fame, loyalty, and love in Hollywood. Alan Cumming's love story has been anything but ordinary. In 1994, he began a passionate 2-year romance with actress Saffron Burrows, their bond fueled by a shared love of the arts and undeniable chemistry. Yet, the relentless pull of their careers, airports, rehearsals, film sets, slowly chipped away at what they had, turning two lovers into distant strangers. Amid this unraveling, Alan experienced a quiet but life-changing revelation. His heart was opening to men in a way he could no longer ignore. The internal battle was painful, torn between who he had been and who he was becoming. When his relationship with Saffron finally ended, Alan stepped into his truth and discovered a new kind of love. He found it first with Nick Filippo, a relationship filled with joy until tragedy struck in 2002. But fate wasn't done with him. 2 years later, Alan met Grant Schaefer, witty, kind, and unwaveringly loving. On January 7, 2007, the two married, and for over 17 years they've built a life defined by respect, laughter, and deep devotion. Alan's journey is more than a series of romances. It's a testament to self-discovery, resilience, and the courage it takes to find true happiness. Matt Dallas's love life once looked like the perfect Hollywood fairy tale. In 2007, sparks flew when he began dating his Kyle XY co-star, Kristen Prout. Their chemistry effortlessly spilled off-screen, creating the kind of romance fans couldn't help but root for. But just months later, fate took an unexpected turn. At an industry event, Matt crossed paths with actor Jonathan Bennett, and what started as a casual friendship soon deepened into something far more powerful. Suddenly, Matt found himself caught between the life he thought he was supposed to live and the emotions he could no longer deny. As his bond with Jonathan grew stronger, his relationship with Kristen slowly unraveled, leading to their quiet breakup in 2008. By 2010, Matt's journey of self-discovery brought him to music executive Blue Hamilton, a connection that felt different, truer, and lasting. Together they built a love story that stood the test of time, becoming engaged in 2013 and officially tying the knot in 2015. It was more than a marriage. It was proof of Matt's courage to follow his heart and embrace love in its most authentic form. Ricky Martin's love life was anything but simple. For 12 long years, beginning in 1994, he was entangled in a stormy relationship with Mexican TV presenter Rebecca de Alba. To the public, it looked glamorous, two beautiful stars in love. But behind closed doors, it was a cycle of breakups, reconciliations, and unbearable tension. Ricky, still wrestling with his identity and orientation, found himself trapped in a whirlwind of depression and doubt that seeped into his music and public image. By 2005, the damage was undeniable. Their love had become too fractured to save. But life had other plans. 3 years later, Ricky met economist Carlos Gonzalez, and for the first time, he experienced what it meant to openly share life with a man. Their 6-year relationship marked a turning point, though it too ended in 2014. Then, fate intervened in the most unexpected way, through an Instagram conversation with artist Juan Yosef. What began as casual messages quickly grew into late-night laughter, deep conversations, and a love that felt undeniable. Meeting in person sealed their bond, and by 2016 they were engaged, marrying the following year. Today, Ricky and Juan are raising a beautiful family of 4 children together, a living testament that after years of turmoil, heartbreak, and inner battles, true love and peace can finally emerge from the darkness. Wentworth Miller lived a double life hidden from the world. In 2005, while filming Prison Break, he quietly began a relationship with actress Mariana Cleavino. But behind the scenes, Miller was battling demons far darker than any storyline on screen: childhood trauma, crushing doubts about his sexuality, and the suffocating pressure of being the leading man on one of television's hottest shows. As whispers in the media grew louder and fans speculated about his private life, Miller was forced to deny the truth, a denial that revealed just how deeply he struggled to accept himself in an industry obsessed with authenticity and macho image. By 2007, the weight of living a lie shattered the relationship. That same year, Miller found solace in a secret romance with actor Luke McFarland, his first step toward embracing who he truly was. But the journey was anything but smooth. Haunted by depression and bouts of self-destructive behavior, Miller's road to self-acceptance was long and painful. Finally, in 2013, he gathered the courage to come out publicly, breaking free from years of silence and opening a bold new chapter in his life, one defined not by fear, but by truth. Barry Manilow's love story began in 1965 when he met Linda Allen, a woman who stood by him through the early years of his career. For over a decade, their relationship appeared steady, the kind of bond everyone assumed would last forever. But beneath the surface, Barry was quietly wrestling with feelings he could no longer ignore. Slowly, he came to realize that his heart was drawn to men, a revelation that shook the very foundation of how he understood love and identity. For years, he lived with this silent battle, torn between the expectations of society and the truth inside his soul. Everything changed in 1978, when he met Gary Keefe. Their connection was undeniable, sparking a passion that Barry could neither resist nor conceal. Yet his deepening feelings for Gary caused his love for Linda to fade, creating a painful and emotional triangle that left Barry trapped between duty and desire. After nearly 2 decades of trying to uphold a life that wasn't truly his, Barry made the heartbreaking decision to end his marriage in 1987. The divorce, though devastating, opened the path for both of them to finally find happiness on their own terms. What followed was a love story that grew stronger with time. With Gary, Barry found not just companionship, but respect, loyalty, and a love that endured. Their private wedding in 2014, followed by a public celebration in 2017, was more than just a union. It was the culmination of Barry's long journey toward truth. At last, he could live openly, proudly, and joyfully, beginning a bright new chapter with the man who had been his anchor all along. Colton Haynes' early Hollywood years were painted with the image of a heartthrob, complete with high-profile romances that fans adored. Among them was his relationship with teen wolf actress Holland Roden, which began in 2011. The two met on set, and their undeniable chemistry spilled off-screen, creating the kind of sweet young love story Hollywood thrives on. But behind the smiles and red carpet appearances, Colton was silently battling a far heavier truth. In an industry that demanded tough, hypermasculine leading men, he felt the crushing weight of hiding his real identity. By 2013, the facade was unbearable. His relationship with Holland ended, not because the love wasn't real, but because the life he was living wasn't. For the first time, Colton began to explore who he truly was, and that journey led him to photographer Jeff Leatham. Their romance quickly blossomed, and in 2016, Colton courageously opened up about years of self-denial, sparking headlines and inspiring countless fans with his honesty. Soon after, Jeff swept him away with a fairy tale proposal in Mexico. In 2017, the two married, marking not just a new chapter in his personal life but a complete rebirth, a Hollywood star finally stepping out from the shadows to live freely, authentically, and unapologetically as himself. Victor Garber shared a long and meaningful relationship with actress and singer Carla McGrath throughout the 1980s and early 90s, a partnership grounded in artistry, mutual respect, and admiration for each other's talents. Yet, behind the curtain of success, Garber wrestled with a private storm. As a Broadway veteran and beloved on-screen presence in shows like Alias, he faced the crushing weight of an industry that demanded he project a straight public image. At that time, Hollywood was merciless toward older actors, and many feared that coming out would destroy any chance at romantic leading roles. Inevitably, the relationship with Carla unraveled as Garber began confronting his truth. His path shifted when he met artist Rainer Andresen, sparking a love story that has endured for more than 3 decades. For years, they lived quietly, away from the public eye, until Garber finally spoke openly about his sexuality in a 2013 interview. Looking back, he described the experience as both terrifying and liberating, a moment that freed him from decades of silence and opened the door to a new, authentic chapter of his life. Frank Ocean's early career painted the picture the industry wanted to see, dating women, including a year-long relationship with model and actress Isis Hainsworth. To the outside world, it looked like the perfect image of a rising R&B star following the straight-laced mold the business demanded. But behind the scenes, Frank was fighting a battle no spotlight could capture. His heart was pulling him in a different direction, toward men, and the weight of hiding that truth nearly crushed him. For decades, the hip-hop and R&B worlds had been notoriously unkind to LGBTQ+ artists, forcing many to maintain a carefully constructed facade to survive. Frank felt that pressure deeply. Yet, as he grew into himself, he could no longer deny the pull of authenticity. He began forming real connections with men, including photographer Alex P., and slowly let go of the relationships that had once kept his public image intact. Then, in 2012, he did what few dared to even imagine. On his Tumblr blog, Frank posted a deeply personal open letter, confessing that his first love had been with a man. That single act wasn't just a revelation, it was a revolution. In one bold moment, he cracked open the door for queer acceptance in R&B, proving that vulnerability could be power. His honesty inspired millions around the globe, transforming him from just an artist into a voice of courage, authenticity, and change. Before Zachary Quinto became a household name, he quietly dated actress and model Zooey Deschanel in the early 2000s, long before his breakout role as the sinister Scylla in Heroes. Together, they appeared at red carpets and high-profile events, projecting the image of a Hollywood power couple on the rise. But behind the flashing cameras, Zachary was fighting a private battle. He was still wrestling with his own questions about identity, trying to uphold the leading man image Hollywood demanded, even as it grew further and further from his truth. Landing the role of Spock in J.J. Abrams' Star Trek reboot only magnified the pressure. The world saw a star ascending, but inside, the weight of secrecy was crushing. His relationship with Zooey eventually faded as Zachary began the difficult yet liberating journey of embracing who he truly was. In time, he found love with model and actor Miles McMillan, a partner who not only shared his creative spirit but also understood the struggles of authenticity in an industry built on illusion. Then, in 2011, tragedy struck when gay teenager Jamie Rodemayer died by suicide. For Zachary, it was a breaking point. No longer willing to stay silent, he came out publicly, an act of courage meant to tell LGBTQ youth everywhere, "You are not alone, you are seen, and you are worthy." Dan Reynolds, the unmistakable voice of Imagine Dragons. For over a decade, he shared a seemingly perfect marriage with singer Aya Volkman, raising 4 beautiful children together. To the outside world, they were the picture of harmony, a power couple who supported each other's art while building a family that fans admired. Their love, their unity, their creativity seemed untouchable. But behind the stage lights and smiling photographs, Dan began to wrestle with something deeper, a truth that shook the very core of his identity. He felt a growing pull, a quiet but undeniable attraction to men. What followed was an agonizing internal battle, the love he held for his family versus the voice inside urging him to be honest with himself. Through years of soul-searching, therapy, and painful reflection, Dan and Aya separated in 2018. Though they tried to reconcile, their marriage ultimately ended in 2022. Yet out of heartbreak came transformation. Dan has since embraced his journey, building relationships with men while remaining a devoted co-parent and a fierce advocate for LGBTQ+ rights, especially within the conservative Mormon community where he was raised. His story is not just one of fame, it's one of courage, identity, and the difficult pursuit of living authentically. Thank you for watching Exposed Hollywood. Remember, there is no greater journey than the one toward your true self. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to keep spreading love, truth, and freedom. See you in the next video.